it's Mick from Export 56 here. Well, very pleased to be standing next to a pretty amazing car here. Well, for those who don't know, it's a 1957 1500 GS Carrera Speedster. Pretty phenomenal car. Speedsters, the Carrera Speedsters were built for 3 years in very low numbers. About 152 were produced in total. This is a very rare example. It's one of only 3 right-hand drive cars. All 3 right-hand drive cars were delivered new into Australia. This was the last of the 3, delivered in ruby red with black interior corduroy inserts. And it was delivered as a GS model with Rudge wheels, American bumpers, style bumpers. And you know, she stayed in Australia for about the first 20 years of her life, having a few changes of ownership through the 60s into the early 70s. It was sold new to Irvin Rockman, who was a wealthy hotelier with a fairly substantial collection of classic cars. But in the mid-70s, this car ended up, and nobody quite knows the reason, losing its original engine and having a replacement 1600 normal engine. Out of the 3 right-hand drive cars that were built, all 3 still exist, but none of them run their matching numbers engine. The car was sold in the early 80s to Trevor Keatley. Trevor restored the car and wanted to go racing. He managed to purchase a 4-cam GT engine. In fact, I think the engine was out of the 4th Carrera Speedster GT produced. The car still exists, but its engine is currently sitting in this. So the car did a bit of racing, bit of track competition work, and then was restored by Trevor to GT spec. And that included, you know, kind of GT front bumpers, 80-litre fuel tank, roll cage, Derrington steering wheel. It also, you know, having a GT engine gave it a little bit more extra power, and with that power you needed some extra braking, so some larger brakes put onto the front and sort of wider steel wheels. The car came over to the UK in 2011, was restored back to kind of original spec. It did end up being restored into silver, but being restored back in the UK, it was returned to its original colour combination. A pretty, well, I mean, what can you say? It's personally, it's my favourite Porsche. I've had the pleasure of driving this car. We look after the car along with several other 4-cam Carreras. But this clearly is kind of, you know, the most beautiful car and a spectacular car to drive as well.